There comes a time when the weight of the world, its demands, and its definitions of who you are becomes too much to bear. And in that moment, you realize the path forward is not found in chasing the noise, but in stepping into the silence. To disappear is not to vanish. It is to retreat into a divine process, a sacred hiding where the old you is stripped away and the true you is reborn. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your transformation. Step away from distractions. The world is filled with noise, voices competing for your attention, distractions pulling you in 100 directions, and endless demands leaving you drained. These distractions don't just steal your time, they rob you of clarity, purpose, and the energy needed to grow. To transform yourself, you must step away from the chaos. This isn't about abandoning responsibilities, it's about creating a sacred space where your mind can breathe, your heart can reflect, and your soul can listen. Consider this: a sculptor cannot create a masterpiece in a crowded, chaotic workshop. They need a quiet space where they can see every detail and hear every stroke of the chisel. You are the sculptor of your life, and distractions are the clutter that blinds you from your vision. The first step in disappearing is recognizing what pulls you away from your goals. Is it endless growing through social media, toxic relationships, or the constant need to meet others' expectations? Identify them and be bold enough to cut them out. When you step away from distractions, you begin to hear a voice that has been drowned out for too long, your own. This voice holds the keys to who you are meant to be. In the silence, you'll find answers to questions you've been too busy to ask. Who am I? What do I truly want? What is holding me back? The power to transform begins when you take a step back from the external world and allow yourself to reconnect with what's within. Stepping away may feel like a loss at first, as though you're leaving something behind, but remember, every great transformation begins with separation. A caterpillar doesn't cling to its leaves when it retreats into its cocoon. It lets go, trusting the process. Similarly, by removing distractions, you're not losing anything. You're gaining the clarity and focus necessary to evolve into the person you were always meant to be. Embrace solitude for self-reflection. Solitude is often misunderstood. People fear being alone, equating it with loneliness or insignificance. But solitude is not your enemy, it is your ally. It is the space where transformation begins, the sanctuary where you confront the depths of your soul and discover the power within you. Solitude doesn't diminish you, it strengthens you. It's in those quiet moments away from the noise that you begin to see yourself clearly. Imagine standing in front of a still lake. In its calm waters, your reflection is perfect, unbroken by ripples or waves. Now picture that same lake, stirred by winds and chaos, distorting the image. Solitude is the stillness that allows you to see your true reflection. It's where you confront your fears, dreams, and shortcomings, not to judge yourself, but to understand and grow. Self-reflection in solitude is not passive. It's an active process. It's about asking the hard questions. What do I fear? Why have I allowed myself to remain stuck? What am I truly capable of? These questions may not have easy answers, but in solitude you'll find the courage to face them. This courage is the seed of transformation. The world often teaches us to seek validation from others, but solitude reminds you that the only validation you need is your own. When you embrace solitude, you learn to trust yourself. You stop seeking approval from the outside world and start building a foundation of inner strength and confidence. It's a place of profound honesty where masks fall away and you meet the real you, the one unshaped by society's expectations. Solitude is where the noise ends and the whispers of your soul begin. It's where you hear the call to transform, to rise above what you've been told and become something greater. Transformation is not born in crowds. It's birthed in the quiet chambers of your heart. To embrace solitude is to say yes to the process of becoming, to step into the sacred space where change is no longer a dream, but a reality unfolding. Let go of past identities. Transformation demands the courage to release who you were. The identity you've carried for so long, the one shaped by others' expectations, by past experiences, and even by your own fears, no longer serves you. Holding on to it only chains you to a version of yourself that no longer fits the life you're meant to live. Letting go of past identities is not about denying your history. It's about shedding the weight of what no longer aligns with your future. Think of a snake shedding its skin. The process is necessary for its growth, yet it's not easy. It scrapes and struggles, leaving behind what is old and worn out. In the same way, clinging to who you've been, whether out of comfort, fear, or habit, prevents you from becoming who you are meant to be. Ask yourself, how much of your current identity is truly yours? How much of it has been handed to you by others? The labels, the roles, the expectations, strip them away, and what remains? Letting go is not an act of weakness, it's an act of strength. It takes courage to release the familiar, even when the familiar is suffocating you. The identities you've worn, whether as the underdog, the people pleaser, or the one who never quite measures up, or never your destiny. They were lessons, chapters in your story, but they were never meant to define the entire book. Transformation begins when you realize you are not confined to those chapters. The process of shedding past identities is deeply personal and often painful. It requires honesty with yourself about what no longer serves you. Are you holding on to relationships, habits, or beliefs that keep you anchored in a place of stagnation? The truth may sting, but it will also set you free. When you let go of what no longer fits, you create space for something greater, a new identity that reflects your growth, strength, and purpose. Transformation is not about becoming someone else. It's about uncovering who you truly are. The identity you've been holding on to may feel safe, but it's a prison disguised as comfort. Let go of it, and you'll discover the freedom to build a life that aligns with your true self. This is not a loss. It's a rebirth, a shedding of the old to make way for the extraordinary. Rebuild with purpose. Once the old has been stripped away, you stand at a crossroads. This is your moment to rebuild, not haphazardly, not as a reaction to circumstances, but with intention and purpose. Rebuilding yourself is not about piecing together what's broken. It's about creating something entirely new. It's about designing a life that reflects your deepest values, dreams, and aspirations. Rebuilding requires a clear vision of who you want to become. What kind of person do you see when you imagine your highest self? What habits, thoughts, and actions align with that vision? This is the foundation of purposeful transformation. You're no longer living by default, simply reacting to the world around you. Instead, you're living by design, consciously choosing every step of your journey. Every great structure begins with a solid foundation, and your life is no different. The foundation you build now must be rooted in strength, integrity, and resilience. Start by cultivating habits that align with your goals. These habits don't have to be grand or dramatic. They just need to be consistent. Small, intentional actions repeated over time create monumental change. Whether it's dedicating time each day to personal growth, nurturing your health, or pursuing your passions, these habits are the bricks that will form the structure of your new life. Lessons well spent in business or education are, as Leonard Max puts it, a trap. Rebuilding also requires unshakable discipline. Transformation is not a fleeting moment of inspiration. It's a daily commitment to the work of becoming. There will be days when the process feels slow, when the results seem distant, and when the urge to give up whispers in your ear. But true transformation is born in perseverance. Each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you are becoming. As you rebuild, remember that every choice matters. The people you surround yourself with, the thoughts you entertain, the words you speak, all of these shape your new identity. Choose carefully. Surround yourself with those who inspire you, think thoughts that uplift you, and speak words that affirm your purpose. Every decision is a brick in the structure you're creating, and the care you take in building it will determine its strength. Rebuilding is not about rushing to the finish line, it's about honoring the process. It's about crafting a life that feels authentic, powerful, and aligned with your deepest truths. This is your moment to rise from the ashes. not as a patched up version of your former self, but as something entirely new, a reflection of purpose, strength, and unwavering determination. Reemerge stronger. Transformation is never meant to keep you hidden forever. The purpose of disappearing, of retreating into the depths of self-reflection and change, is to reemerge, not as the same person, but as someone stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. This isn't a return to the world as it was, but an introduction of the new you to a world you've reshaped with your growth and resilience. When you reemerge, you do so with the power of clarity. The distractions that once clouded your vision are gone, and your path is illuminated by a sense of purpose you've never known before. You are no longer wandering aimlessly through life, swayed by the opinions of others or the pull of meaningless pursuits. You have become anchored in your identity, rooted in a deep understanding of who you are and what you're here to do. This clarity is your compass, guiding you toward opportunities that align with your transformed self. The strength you carry when you re-enter the world is not just physical or mental, it's spiritual. It's a quiet confidence that speaks louder than words. You've faced your fears in solitude, confronted the parts of yourself that needed change, and rebuilt a life that aligns with your purpose. This inner strength radiates outward, commanding respect and admiration without the need for validation. People will see the difference in you, not just in your actions, but in the way you carry yourself, the energy you bring into every room, and the unwavering determination in your eyes. Re-emerging stronger doesn't mean shouting your transformation from the rooftops. It's about letting your actions, your presence, and your results speak for themselves. The world doesn't need to be told about your growth. It will feel it. When you've truly transformed, there's no need to prove it. Your life becomes the evidence. As you step back into the world, you'll notice a shift in how you perceive challenges. The obstacles that once felt insurmountable now appear as opportunities to test your strength. The doubts and fears that used to hold you back no longer have power over you. You've faced the fire and emerged unscathed, tempered by the heat, ready to face whatever comes your way. This resilience is not something you learn from books or advice. It was forged in the crucible of your own transformation. Re-emerging stronger also means understanding that you're no longer the person others once knew. Some people may struggle to accept the new you, clinging to their perceptions of who you used to be. This is not your burden to carry. Transformation is a personal journey, and not everyone will understand or celebrate it. That's okay. You didn't change for their approval. You changed for your growth. The opinions of others no longer define you, because you've built an identity rooted in truth and purpose, not in the fleeting acceptance of others. When you re-enter the world, you do so with a renewed sense of control over your life. You're no longer reacting to circumstances, you're creating them. You've taken the time to design a life that aligns with your values and goals, and now you have the strength to protect it. You know the power of setting boundaries, of saying no to what doesn't serve you, and of fiercely guarding the peace and clarity you've cultivated. This is not selfishness, it's self-respect. Re-emerging is not about blending back in, it's about standing out, not through arrogance, but through authenticity. You've shed the layers that once masked your true self, and now you shine with the brilliance of someone who knows their worth. This light isn't dimmed by comparison or competition. It's fueled by the knowledge that your journey is uniquely yours, and no one else can replicate it. As you reintroduce yourself to the world, remember that transformation is an ongoing process. Re-emerging stronger doesn't mean you've reached the final destination. It means you've found the strength to continue the journey with unwavering resolve. Each step forward is a testament to the work you've done and the person you've become. And with each step, you inspire others to embark on their own journeys of transformation, proving that no matter how deep the darkness, there is always a way to rise. Transformation is not just a journey, it's a declaration. It's the bold statement that you refuse to remain bound by who you've been, confined by past mistakes, or limited by the expectations of others. To disappear and transform is not an act of retreat, but an act of courage. It's stepping into the unknown, trusting the process, and emerging as the version of yourself you were always meant to be. When you step away from distractions, embrace solitude, and let go of past identities, you create the space for true growth. Rebuilding with purpose allows you to craft a life that reflects your deepest truths. And when you re-emerge, you do so not as someone seeking approval, but as someone radiating strength, clarity, and authenticity. Your transformation is your power. It's the proof that no matter how the world tried to define you, you had the strength to redefine yourself. So go forward, not as who you were, but as who you've become. Unshakable, unbreakable, and unstoppable. This is your time to rise.